Hello, namaste everyone. Happy Navaratri to everyone. May Ma Durga give you all her blessings and the ability to fight with all the obstacles. Okay, so this video is for Sagittarius zodiac signs. So if you are a Sagittarius ascendant or a Sagittarius moon sign, then this video is going to be for you, right? So before we dive into this video, if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell icon below so as to get regular updates from my channel. Also, if you would like to have your personal readings from me, you can check out the link below in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the reading and unique reading section, you can also schedule a consultation or a personal consultation for yourself. Also, I'll be coming up with the courses, online courses, in the next, I think, couple of days. Right. Before diving into this particular video, there's a video which is the introductory video for this particular video. That video is telling us about how Saturn behaves in the sign of Pisces and in the with regards of the 12th house as well. So you can go and watch that video. I have mentioned the link below in the description box. So first, that video will give you the significance and what this particular transit holds. And then you can have a specific prediction for yourself based on this video, right? So I think I have said video so many times. I was thinking that in the back of my mind. So let's get started with the topic today. So today's topic is for Sagittarius people, how Saturn's transit that has happened on 29th of March 2025 and is going to be there till 2028 February, how it is going to affect you people. It is going to come in your fourth house. Many people consider that as a dhaya or a very, very significant house. So before diving into this, let me tell you one thing. So I have seen so many people talking about the fact that my dhaya has started. Tell me, is there something bad that is going to happen with me? Should I be prepared for this? Should I do some upay? They have this kind of mindset, you know. I will not say that dhaya or the period wherever Saturn's transit into certain houses, when it has more obstacles than others, it is considered as dhaya, right? So in the fourth house, when Saturn comes in, this is a very, very important transit of an individual. You call it dhaya, you call it anything. I am just absolutely, regardless of categorizing it into something, I'm going to make you understand the meaning of it, the result of it, what the Saturn wants from you. Saturn coming into the fourth house. We first need to know what fourth house is about. Fourth house is the natural domain of sign of Cancer. It's your comforts, your heart space. In हिंदी we say एक इंसान की नीयत कैसी है वो फोर्थ हाउस बताता है, चौथा स्थान बताता है एक इंसान की नीयत कैसी है. Whether a person is capable to have a pure heart of gold or a person has a distinguished, you know, sense of difference within their mind. Like, for example, some people are very keen on, just being friends to the riches and not, not talk to their poor friends. I know this is not viable, this is not valid with so many people, but this is something which is a harsh reality. It is very much there out there, especially when we people are young, we people are in colleges, we always want to associate with very influential people or something like that. So The fourth house stands for your heart. It's, I won't consider that to be the mind, but it's your heart, your comfort space where you feel happy, where you feel comfort. The fourth house is the womb of your mother. Like it's your womb. If you are a mother, or even if you are a male, what kind of motherly nourishment you can give to the other person, that's the fourth house. Fourth house is the environment you give to others. That's why, for example, if a person has moon in the fourth house, they're very hospitable. They always give a very homely vibe to everyone they meet. They want to create home. They want it for everyone they meet. They provide them with all the comforts. So, fourth house is your ability or inability to love, to provide love. It is the house of one's mother, vehicles, land, home, real estate. It is the house of our early education, or you can call it as it is the house of our upbringing. It is the house of our childhood traumas, childhood, in fact. What kind of environment do you have within your home? That is the fourth house. Is it a peaceful environment? It's a driven environment, or it's a environment where you'll have to go to war every day. That is the fourth house. Affliction in the fourth house, Mars in the fourth house, Saturn in the fourth house. It's like a war you'll have to deal with every day. But Saturn in the fourth house is not fierce war, or it's not Kala Kalesh kind of situation within the home, but it's more of like you get practical teachings from your environment or within your home. I would consider Saturn to be a beautiful placement in the fourth house. That's because it matures you early in life. It shows you the real side of life. It takes you out of your comfort zone, first and foremost thing. Fourth house is also called as the Raj Gaddi. So whether a person has a comfortable environment within their home, or in fact in their life, are they having comforts? Are they having things reaching to them in a very comfortable way? That's the fourth house. Fourth house is your heart space. So now when Saturn comes into the fourth house, first of all, you put a boundary around your heart space. You become vulnerable. You become extremely sensitive. You get affected by each and everything. You get reality check through you don't have to go out in the world or into your profession so as to get that reality check. That's not Saturn in the 10th house. It's Saturn in the fourth house. You get that reality check within your home, within your personal space. You get that reality check from your closest people. That's why you set a boundary around yourself. You develop a boundary and you are like, now I will learn how to be alone. You isolate yourself with so many people. For this time, even if you have so many friends, for this time, you will let yourself be available or be open emotionally to very significant amount of them, very little amount of them. Saturn, when comes into the fourth house, first of all, it is going to start developing a boundary around your heart space. That's why it will gain your focus towards the fourth house matters. You will have to deal with your home. You will have to deal with your home environment. You'll have to heal your home environment because this is the sign of Pisces. Saturn coming here is telling you there are issues that you have not addressed with your childhood traumas, with your home. Now you need to open your eyes towards that. It is going to give you karma with your mother, heavy associated karma with your mother. Your mother is going to be the one to instill that practical or reality check within you. You're going to learn from the harshest of ways. You will have to go out of your comfort zone, so you'll be working a lot. Since it is right opposite to the 10th house, you'll be having good opportunities of work, and trust me, good opportunities of fame. If you go by fair means in your life, if you are fair and square, if you are like, with your emotions, with your decisions, if you are fair and square with everyone, people are going to start putting you into up to a pedestal. Fourth house Saturn develops a judgment of an individual. It's the most important house. It's the most important pillar of the Kendra houses. If your fourth house is strong, no transit, no out of force can bring you down. That's why if you want to see fame in a person's chart, look towards their fourth house. Of course, first look towards the seventh house, sorry, 10th house, 7th house, 11th house. But that is the fame that might be temporary in nature, that might be suddenly coming in and suddenly going away. But fourth house is your slow, steady, strong, stable growth. So when Saturn comes into the fourth house, it will first make you alone. You're going to become a lonely person first. You're going to have realizations about self, about your emotions. Your emotions will feel vulnerable. Even if you have been a person who has been practical all his life. Now, first, Saturn will take you into a trap where it is going to show you that how it feels to be emotionally vulnerable. Even if you have been a person who has been very focused and determined to connect with emotionally with the ones who can reciprocate it, it will let you be that over giver first. And then when you'll see that the other person is not reciprocating, other person is not giving into it, you're going to start getting that reality check. So first, what will happen? You're going to feel that breakup feeling that a person has when a breakup happens, or when a partition happens, when a divorce happens, something like that. I'm not saying these are the things you are going to experience, but these are the example, the kind of feeling that we have. We get attached so much. This placement talks about detachment. It teaches you that your attachment is only required at certain places, not everywhere. That's why this Saturn is going to play with your emotions first. Then it is going to give you the karma and make you work towards organizing your fourth house. Organizing, understanding what's your comfort space, what's your happiness. This is the time for you people, you Sagittariuses, to identify yourself, identify your growth, work on yourself, your growth. It's going to bring in a transformative change in the way you connect with people emotionally. You're going to become very practical, very practical. And the other day, like yesterday night, I had a consultation with a person who was Sagittarius Ascendant. And when I heard his side of the story, I was like shook away from. I don't think he has Saturn in the fourth house, but his story of his life was amazing. Lots and lots of lessons, lots and lots of failures. But I still saw that person being so optimistic about his growth. He said, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it happen for myself. And that was the time I thought, like, that's the kind of motivation everyone needs. That's the kind of optimism everyone needs. And the Sagittarius are fortunate enough to be optimistic even after the worst scenarios in their life. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful energy of, Jupiter, right? So this transit can turn out to be very good for you, but I'm telling you, the process will be uncomfortable. The process will be full of obstacles, but it's about your actions. It's about your understanding, whether it's properly followed. It's, there. Okay. So you will be your own destiny creator. Right? Fourth house can activate a lot of things for you. Let's just dive into the chart so that we know what it does. Okay? So, suppose you are a Sagittarius ascendant. Let me take some other color. It seems very similar. Okay. So now Saturn. Oh, this is not even visible to my eyes. Um, let's get which one. Why it's becoming very hard for me to just, select a color. Okay, 12. So Saturn. Even this is low. I need to find some darker shade, no? Let's go with this one. Okay, so Saturn in the fourth house. Your fourth house is ruled by Pisces. This is the energy there. It talks about first, wherever Saturn goes, it wants you to organize that house. That's the simplest remedy you can do. This is the house where it is going to restrict your area. So you'll have to work around within that house. You will require to learn. Now, learn is not just education. You can take education, you can go back to school. That's the thing Sagittarius would love to do. But you'll have to learn. You'll have to accumulate knowledge. You'll have to research. This is very, very important during this transit. This is required. If you're looking for something in your career, do this. You'll see wonders. This is your time to go back to school, go back to learning. Even if you are not going back to school, you need to enhance your skills. You need to feed your skills with information, knowledge. Saturn in the fourth house makes excellent advisor. Okay. Now Saturn in the fourth house, coming into the fourth house, you have Pisces. It's like you feel happy when you're burdenless. You feel happy when you don't have lots of responsibilities over your head. That's how Jupiter would feel. So when Saturn is coming here, it is going to first make you deal with reality, practicality. It is going to make you deal with your emotions. Howsoever ignorant you have been about your emotions, you'll have to deal with it. And this is very prominent with sign of Sagittarius. I always talk about the two polarities of the sign of Pisces. One is oblivionness, or you can call it as ignorance. Another is addiction and also devotion. So when this Saturn comes in, if you are ignorant about your traumas, you'll have to deal with them and heal them. If you are too addicted and you have been using your, traumas into your relationships, you will again have to deal with that. You have to learn how to not use them into your conversations, not use them into your, your fights. You'll have to deal with your traumas. You'll have to get done with your traumas once and for all. For a female, this could even initiate pregnancy. This would make you do some changes within your home or buy a property. And I won't say land, but house or a structure. Okay. So Saturn coming into the fourth house can activate so many things. It is going to make you work hard so much. See, if things would be so easy with Saturn, then when I say organize the house it is coming in, it would have been just a click for you guys. But when I'm saying that you'll have to organize the fourth house, you'll have to organize your responsibilities towards the home. Do you think Saturn would let you do that just in a click? It is going to give you difficulties. Why? It is going to give you more work. It is going to involve you so much out there also that you will require to work hard towards organizing your home environment. You'll be forced. You'll be forced by the circumstances to take over the authority. Do you know? 10th house is about our authority. But I said fourth house is the Raj Gaddi. It's the higher self of authority. It's of course not 10th from the 10th, but it is the where the hidden power lies for an individual. Saturn, when comes into the fourth house, it makes you powerful from within. That's why it is going to give you the harshest of situations. After that, only you find that power within. We say na, the person with the strongest willpower cannot be defeated by anyone. That is what the Saturn in fourth house could be. Okay, so now Saturn's aspects. Saturn's third aspect goes into the sixth house. You will have to work really hard towards your routine life, your health, your nutrition. Your debts, they can arise. You'll have to get done with them. Of course, if you buy a property, you might get a debt over yourself, and you'll have to stick on to the responsibility of fulfilling that. So most of the aspects connected with the sixth house have to be with finances, related to finances, because it's the sign of Taurus. You'll have to deal with the conflicts related to the family. So that's why when Saturn comes into the fourth house, the environment of the family is disturbed. And the environment within your heart space is also disturbed. But you become cold to those things. You become cold to that environment. The third aspect on the sixth house also means you will have to establish or work on your skills. And that too in your daily routine. Daily, you'll have to work upon them. You will have some karma related to arguments. Try not to argue very much. Just let it go. Saturn is going to fight for you. Trust me on that. It fight with karma. It fights with karma. You don't have to fight. So let let anyone come into your um path. But when you are determined, you are focused, Saturn will take all them away from you. You don't have to do anything. Just relax and stay focused, stay hardworking. I know the saying relax is very contrary with Saturn, right? But this is the sixth house matters you'll have to deal with. You'll have to deal and you'll have to work hard towards establishing your family relationships and also the relationships with your relatives. Okay, it can give you health problems also, but those problems, like for example, for a female, it can be PCOD. For pregnant women, they have to take care of their health anyway, of their nutrition anyway. For males, it can be digestive issues, digestion, gastric, gastroenteritis, um, acidic refluxes, all of that. But you'll have to work upon a routine. Routine is not that you are doing, as per what you are told to do every day. But when you do something repetitively, like for example, if you wake up every day at 9 a.m., wake up every day at 9 a.m., get your things done by 12 a.m., go to work and all of that. This is, I think, mostly happens for work from home people. And this is very illogical of me of telling it here. So it's what I meant is that you need to follow a certain pattern, right? Now, seventh aspect. Seventh aspect is going to be upon Virgo and in your 10th house. Seventh aspect also always works for support for an individual. You get support, you get fame, you get recognition, and you also get the past life good deeds, good karma from seventh, the fruits of that, seventh from the Saturn's placement. But most of the time, whenever you are just like Rahu Ketu, you are stuck in a loop with Saturn's placement and its seventh from itself. So you will have to deal with the career. You will get a lot of work and you will work really, really hard. And you have to work really, really hard. This is your time to juggle between your home life and your career life so as to have a very, very stable time with your career. Things are going to move ahead slowly, steadily. But the more patient you are, the more better results you're going to get. Since it is the sign of Virgo, you'll have to develop a routine within your career or within your work. You'll have to deal with the conflicts of your work or your workspace. You'll have to interact with nitpickers, like nitpicking people who pick on everything, who are very critical, who are judgmental. You'll have to deal with such people, right? But at the same time, you will be receiving support from them. It acts like a indirect motivation. So for this duration, whomsoever you're going to interact within your career as your boss or as your employer, those are going to be the people who are going to be very critical but also very supportive. You see those grandmothers who are a little bit, they're not hard on you, but they're very critical. They're very, on the face, they seem very cunning, but internally they love you so much. They try take care of you with food, with their care, with their warmth. That is the kind of thing you can experience. Now it depends which planets are there already. That would of course manipulate the results, but it can be helpful in terms of career and career recognition. And this is there, Saturn coming into the fourth house. It's not just there to stabilize your career, but it is to stabilize your life in general, your whole life. Okay, now the 10th aspect. 10th aspect goes into the first house. You will have to work hard towards your personality, health, mind stability. You will have to have a philosophical approach towards yourself. You will learn how to be optimistic. The 10th aspect of Saturn over any other sign would have not been the sign, the transit to make you optimistic. But this 10th aspect is there for specifically right now in the sign of Pisces, who is making you have an optimistic approach. But do you know what? It if you act overly optimistic, or if you act careless towards anything in your surroundings or in your life, this Saturn is going to give you karma. And by karma, I mean obstacle. But if you succeed in fulfilling the karma of Saturn, you will get the blessings of growth, fame. You need to be responsible towards these houses. Okay? Now, let's go through planets. So when we have Sun in the fourth house, it will suppress your domination. It is your ninth lord. Ninth lord is coming into your fourth house. It is a lucky placement, but it illuminates your fourth house. It illuminates your desire to have comfortable environment, to have comforts, even the possessions of comforts. First, the Saturn will take you out of your comfort zone. It is going to challenge your ego, your comfort zone. This Saturn is going to crunch your ego and your dominance within your home. Something will happen in the home environment that you will feel that my domination is no more working there. Nobody is listening to me. That's where your ego starts changing, transforming. But definitely, this is your time to adjust. This is your time to bow down your ego. Maybe knowingly, unknowingly, you have been a person who has been so dominating with the home environment. This is your time to balance that out, to give the opportunity to other people as well. Give the opportunity for them to understand you and for you to understand them more importantly. This is the ninth lord coming into the fourth house. That means there's a heavy lesson you are about to learn through your childhood traumas. This is the time for you to heal your personality. You have been dominating because of something that has stuck into your mind, which you might have been watching within your home happening, and that has accumulated as a childhood trauma for you. Now you are imposing that on others as well. This is the time for you to heal that. It's the time for you to crunch your ego and make sacrifices. With the perspective of career, it can work really, really well, but it will make you learn more. So you might go for a higher education. And this is actually about going back to school. This is the actual placement for that. Okay. But definitely there will be research oriented nights. There will be learning from the books, learning so much, developing a kind of personality transformation with your personality, with the way you express your anger, with the way you express your emotions through anger. All of those things are going to transform. You are going to learn patience of your lifetime. Okay. Now, after Sun, it's Moon. Moon is your eighth lord. Definitely, you'll have to deal with your childhood traumas. You'll have to your deal with suddenness within your home. There can be sudden events that are going to happen within your home or related to home. Sudden ups and downs within your heart space, with your comfort zone. Suddenly, you get an opportunity, suppose, to shift overseas to a different land. Everything is going to change. A to Z, everything is going to change for you. This talks about sudden events, sudden problems, sudden fluctuations that are going to come within your home space because moon is there. This can even affect the health of the mother. With sun, it can affect the health of the father. Right? So this also means since eighth lord is coming to the fourth house, it's like flashbacks. You get flashbacks from your childhood. Now you'll have to deal with a strong self of yours. Something in your life will happen suddenly because of which you are going to set a guard around yourself. You are going to, there are going to be a lot of emotions accumulated, but you will not be able to express them. You'll find the hardest time to express them. So emotionally and otherwise as well, it's going to be a challenging time. Next, and one more thing, the kind of dilemmas you have with your decisions, the kind of confusions you have with your decisions, the kind of duality you have with your personality, that is going to be challenged here. If you organize these things, you will get less challenges. But this Saturn will give you clarity. It is going to open your eyes for so many things. It's not just about people, it's about circumstances as well for you. Right? But if followed correctly, this can give you massive wealth. Trust me. It can even initiate a inheritance issue in a fight within the home because of inheritance, or because of in-laws as well, because of interference of in-laws within the home endeavors. So it's kind of a very uneasy situation within the home. Now Mars. So if Mars comes into your this fourth house, that means it is the fifth lord and the 12th lord. You will Experience, I always talk about this. Saturn coming over Mars, it's a very, very technical conjunction. So you will have to learn a lot of things, a lot of technical things, maybe related to computers, maybe related to your ideas, like forming an idea into a startup. So it's like a very technical oriented time where you'll have to educate yourself, learn, research, product researching or researching about something in your as a part of your career. But at the same time, when Saturn comes over Mars, it's the house of Kalesh. It's the house of war. The home environment, not very healthy. Your internal space, your internal environment, not very healthy. The Saturn will suppress your divided actions with Mars being in the sign of Pisces. It now wants you to get focused with your actions, with your focuses and your agenda. You no longer will have to be very confused with your actions or be at a stage where you are not taking appropriate actions. This is going to force you to do all of that. You cannot ignore the issues now. You will have to deal with them. Saturn will make you deal with them. It can even give you legal battles. The Saturn in the fourth house, especially coming over Mars, it can make your visitations to hospitals or visitations to courts, jails, for some reason. For not everyone, but for some people, it could be so. Their natal chart placements depend. Right? But it's a very, very technically creative time. It's time for you to take actions towards your inner built talents. Use them in your career. Research on them, just organize them in a way that is presentable and use them in your career. Okay. Now, next is Jupiter. With Jupiter in the fourth house being the first and the fourth lord. It's like the placement of Saturn in the fourth house is amplifying itself. First of all, it just restricts the expansion of Jupiter. That means it will give you an opportunity to buy a home. It will give you an opportunity to do some changes within your living space, within your room, within your home, within it's also about buying a property, but it's more so about bringing in changes within the existing one. So both of these things can happen for you. Now Jupiter being into the fourth house and then Saturn coming over it, it talks about manifestations. So you will be able to buy the choice of buy the home of your choice. You will be able to plan a stable growth for yourself, but at the same time, you will learn a lot of lessons in a positive way that will teach you patience, that will teach you how do you have to get out of your comfort zone, work things around, and get them into action for yourself. First lord going towards the home and the fourth lord already sitting there. You are your own comfort creator. With Saturn coming over it, you will be able to create your comforts, but at the same time, only through hard work, only through working. Like normal people might work for 8 hours, 9 hours, you will have to work for 12 hours, 13 hours a day. So this also talks about sacrifices. When Jupiter is in the fourth house with Saturn coming over Jupiter, it talks about you will have to make some sacrifices to get out of your comfort zone and related to the home environment and the home, right? So next is Venus. So that's an exalted Venus in the fourth house. That talks about you need to make changes related to the creation of your home. So maybe you are, you want to make changes with the interiors. You want to even make changes with your personality. I've seen this thing many times when Saturn comes over Venus, or Venus comes into the fourth house in Pisces or in any other zodiac sign where it feels comfortable. A person tries to change their hair color, or they do significant changes with their personality so as to look more beautiful. But this Saturn will stabilize your relationships. Since Venus is the lord of the sixth house and lord of the 11th house, it can give you an opportunity to work from home. It can increase your wealth. It can give you recognition. And so as to get recognized, you will have to get some creativity. So you'll have to research for the knowledge of creation and use that as a part of your career. But this Saturn is going to stabilize your devotion, your relationships within your family also. Now, Saturn, I always tell whenever Saturn gets connected with Venus in transit, it comes over Venus, it gives one distance with the spouse or within their relationships. And as a result, this can even lead to affairs. So when Saturn is coming over Venus, it will give you money, but it will give you first the inclination towards beauty, art. Since Venus is exalted here, it is in the sign of Pisces. Pisces always has dualities, it has polarities. We did talk about that. It's either ignorance, it's either devotion. So when Saturn comes over it, it challenges either side you are on. And then it will make you lured by outer sources. If suppose you are unmarried, it could even trigger marriage for an individual. If you are married, it could even trigger affairs. But it will, lead you to a dilemma kind situation in your relationships. Because of that, you will have conflicts within your environment as well, within your home environment as well. This also makes a person buy a vehicle, buy I won't say like property, but more of articles of that provide convenience to an individual, like buying electronics within your home, like AC, fridge, or even buying a car. That's the strongest possibility which Saturn gives when it comes into the fourth house and over Venus specifically. It can even make you be a person who might start selling. If you are starting a business, it might make you a person who starts selling the articles of convenience to other people, like providing comforts to other people, right? So next is Mercury. So Mercury is your seventh and your 10th lord. So when seventh and the 10th lord comes into the fourth house and that becomes debilitated, this, first of all, gives in a lot of confusion and miscommunication within one's life when it's about their career and also about their relationships. But one thing these people do very well in is in research and also creative research. Because Mercury being in the sign of Pisces, it's like you put a observant person, you put a very fine on details kind of a person into a creative land. You're not putting that person into a logic, bank like institution, but you're putting them into a land where they have to get involved into creativity. They have to get involved into outer sources. So having Mercury in the fourth house, first Saturn will actually suppress your wobbliness, your indecisive nature. It will suppress your communication. It will restrict your communication, but also make you dive into creative research. Like for example, if you are into a into IT sector, you might start developing new softwares. You research and start developing, do coding, decoding, and go into that research kind of stuff, and also forming something out of it. But Mercury is also considered as the prince of astrology. So this always, makes a person very indecisive, promiscuous, and also who always wants to be good in everyone's books, always wants to be the center of attention and favorite of everyone. So when it gets debilitated, a person will choose any path to do so. It's not that they are logical with that sense. They're not like, very realistic about it. Now, when Saturn comes here, it suppresses that nature of an individual. It suppresses that. And since it is involved with the 10th and the 7th house, it will affect your social image, your public image. So you will have to be careful of your image, of what people think about you. It can make a person infamous, or it can affect with your personality. It can even give marriage to an individual since it activates the seventh lord. At the same time, we'll be having Jupiter in the seventh house as well for the upcoming transit. So it can activate marriage for many as well. Okay, but this is the time for you to learn where to speak, where not to speak, and how to be focused with one's knowledge and communication. This, in a way, suppresses the instability in an individual's heart and their decisions and their life altogether as well. Now, next one is Saturn itself. So it's like a Saturn natal return. So Saturn is the lord of the second house and the third house for you. You may get opportunities of work from home. It is a good transit for wealth, for income generation, and also for work generation. Like you'll be working really, really hard. You'll be spending a lot of hours, even in the night, studying and working. This also means that the third lord is also coming into the fourth house. That means that is social media, technology, that also has to do a lot with your career success. Since you already had Saturn in the fourth house, you have already experienced that practical side of life. You have already experienced what we call as the reality of life. The life and emotions have been hard on you. Again, this is like when Saturn natal return comes in, that means something significant related to that placement is going to happen, so that you are like re-encountered with such a situation in your life. So you will see that you start getting flashbacks or realizations of your childhood. You'll have to deal with your childhood traumas during this time. You'll have to deal with the home conflicts, the conflicts within home. For wealth, for income, for promotion, this is a very good transit. But for this for the home environment, there can be so much chaos within the home environment. There can be some things you'll have to acknowledge and set order to, right? And something that you have to work upon is your efforts, your actions, and your communication in regards of your emotions with the ones you're close to, right? Next is Rahu. Rahu in the fourth house in the sign of Pisces. That's like a person sitting in a dreamland. So these people are very obsessed and attached to their comforts. These are the ones who want to do, even if they want to earn money, they want to earn money from the sources which are like shortcuts. But having Rahu in a moksha house is a placement which works or calls for deep research. So this Saturn is going to control Rahu, but at the same time, this Saturn is going to guide this Rahu as well. So when there is a combination of Saturn and Rahu, that means you'll have to now learn about technology, very updated technology. So it will might introduce you to AI. You will use AI into your work. You will use research and learning of technology, whatever is trending right now. So Rahu always wants to learn that. Then Rahu in the fourth house is an affliction to the fourth house. Saturn, when comes over this placement, it detaches you from the home. It can make you travel overseas or far distance from the home. It's like you are the one who rebel against the home environment and you just want to leave that. Because see, Saturn and Rahu both are the rebels, and Saturn is the greatest rebel, I would say. But it always its rebel is for some cause, but for Rahu, it's just its own call. So with Saturn and Rahu conjunction in a moksha house, you also have to be, careful of outside influences, negative influences, and also addiction towards alcohol and substances. It can arise some sort of substance issue within your life. Since this is in the fourth house and your second and third lord is coming here, so it's not more of like that you are overspending, but it definitely would call for some expenditure you have to make towards a home, a structure, or towards wherever you live, right? But be very, very aware of all the negative forces and negative substances. Now, if you have Ketu in the fourth house, I always say when Saturn gets connected with Ketu, it holds the hand of Ketu and makes it move forward. So it's a kind of a placement where you'll have to deal with the deep issues within your emotions and within your home environment. This is the call for research, for learning, researching. So you will use research element within your career for the next 2.5 years. You will reattach yourself with the fourth house. That means with your emotions, with your relationships within the home environment. Ketu in the fourth house also brings in time to time transformation within, a person's home environment or a person's heart space. This is your time to connect with your heart space. And there is definitely going to be a major, massive transformation with your home environment and also with your with your emotional space. This can even make you travel to a distant place to live. So like it's kind of a change, a shift of residence for you people. But definitely having Ketu in a moksha sign, that too in a moksha house, this is all about researching, learning something, and also getting a reality check in regards of your thought process, your belief system, and what is in the present. So this Saturn will make you, it is going to make you like force you to get out of that fantasy land and that fairy land and get into the reality and work with the real and practical issues which are present there. So you will have to deal with your childhood traumas, you'll have to deal with your breakups, you'll have to deal with your existing traumas. Okay. So, guys, this was my analysis about Saturn's transit in the sign of Pisces for Sagittarius. So, we'll see you with the next video. Bye bye. Take care.